This is the material recovery facility, and this is how we process cardboard as well as other recyclable materials that are offloaded, that are collected from campus and other places within the greater Lansing area. We use a bobcat that you can see behind me that uses the material, or that moves the material using its bucket. It is a 1-yard bucket attached to the foot of the bobcat, and the loader slowly loads some cardboard on the line for the cardboard to be sorted by hand. We do this with all the commodities, whether it be paper, plastic, or cardboard. And as you see, he dumps it a little bit on at a time. That way our sorters up on the line, who are sorting everything by hand, are able to pick out the contamination, the styrofoam, plastic liners, that sort of thing, and make sure that we have a pure product of cardboard to be sent to our vendors to eventually be turned into more cardboard to be reused and to complete the full cardboard cycle, which is a great sustainable thing, but it requires your help as a Spartan or a recycler to remove contamination and recycle right by putting just the right material in the right bin. As you see above me, we have our sort line. We have our sort line above me where we have sorters who will take things by hand and sort out the contaminants and throw only the good materials in the bunker below it. So as they're sorting, they will take an item and toss it into that bunker, and then that bunker slowly fills up, and we'll take equipment like the bobcat or a fork truck and push it out of that bunker to put it on another conveyor belt to become a bale. And a bale we'll show you later, but a bale is like a bale of straw, but it's about the size of a couch and weighs between 1,200 and 1,600 pounds. So quite a bit bigger than what your average couch weighs. So we do this several thousand times a day. Our trucks hold about 26 yards of material at least. Some of them even more than that, and that's compacted. So there's obviously more stuff that's squished, and that's a way that the recycling industry is able to complete more stops in the same amount of time by compacting materials. That makes us more efficient. We have fuller trucks, and we are, able to service more area within the same time. So we move everything with the bobcat. It's loaded on conveyor number 1 here. It goes up to conveyor number 2, and then it takes almost a full 60 seconds to get from the floor all the way up to the line where you see it being sorted currently. In the normal times, we would have 6 to 8 people up on our sort line, sometimes 12 depending on the commodity, but due to social distancing, lower materials, and less the ability to process stuff, we only have 1 to 2 people up on the line currently, which makes it a lot harder when it's just me, the person in the bobcat, and the person up on the line sorting for the day. But 3 people, we can make a difference, just like you can make a difference with your own individual actions. Our bobcat operator spends almost 8 hours a day in the bobcat moving materials around. They do this for plastic, paper, cardboard, and this bobcat gets one of the most amount of hours used per week out of any of the machinery that we have, because it is the heartbeat of the MRF. It controls the speed. The bobcat can also help process materials to be baled. So when we push out a bunker and have enough of a pure commodity, we'll take that and push it out, and the bobcat will help process that items further to become a bale. So this piece of equipment is a vital piece to keep the heartbeat of the MRF going at a good rate. So the speed of the driver and how efficient they are at uncompacting that material and getting it spread evenly on the line makes the line move a little faster, results in less line stoppages, because if the line is too contaminated, we have to stop the line and then spend extra time sorting, and when the line stops, all work stops for the most part. We have to wait until the line's ready and going again, but that line is the throughput of MSU to get materials out of here. We take in thousands of pounds of all the recycled commodities, and that needs to be processed in an efficient manner. We currently have everything sit and dwell for at least 24 to 72 hours to enable safe sorting for our people and our Spartans who are sorting cardboard and plastic by hand. That way, the virus is told to be destroyed within 24 to 72 hours, depending on the commodity that is being processed. So we let our cardboard sit for at least a full day before sorting it to enable safe sorting for our Spartan sorters up on that line. And you see the material that's in that bunker is just from 1 truck. That's almost 26 to 30 yards of compacted cardboard. And it will take us several hours to get through that, and there will be another truck coming before lunch today. And we have that all the time. We also have compactors on campus, where at residence halls and elsewhere where there are high cardboard areas where those will be compacted in a roll-off style. And those will come back and usually are clean enough that we're able to, quote unquote, straight bale them, which means we don't send them up the line, and sometimes they can be sent directly into a bale, but only if the material is clean enough. So we rely on Spartans on campus that have good recycling habits to have clean compactors, because that results in a lot less processing time for us. And ultimately, it's more sustainable too, as we don't have to use as much resources to process and produce the same amount of cardboard. So by your help, by keeping stuff out of contamination out of the commodity that you're recycling, really makes a difference in the overall sustainability. The more contaminated a material stream is, the more time, effort, and energy we'll spend to be able to divert that item from the landfill, and its carbon footprint ultimately ends up becoming bigger because of that. Welcome to the sort line, the front lines of sustainability. If there was a front, this is it, where everything that you are touching, you're saving from the landfill. We have Rob behind me who is sorting our cardboard stream today, and his job is to separate the contamination out of the cardboard. When he has a good piece of cardboard, he throws it into that bunker that's sitting right next to him. The stuff that's contaminated goes through the line and is picked out by other people who are taking other commodities that might be recyclable but not necessarily in cardboard. So say a milk jug made it into the cardboard. We have someone farther down the line that typically will grab those. The end of the line is trash. So everything that you grab, you're saving from the landfill. That, you know, it's something that's a motivating factor, but it's kind of difficult to do. As you see, there's a lot of material and it's hard to grab all of it. We have to use puncture-resistant gloves. These are special gloves that cost almost $25 a pair to be sure that we're safe while storing. There's all sorts of broken glass. We get needles, syringes, all sorts of stuff up here occasionally that could be hazardous to sorting by hand. So we use proper PPE and training to make sure that our partners up here that are sorting are safe while sorting. This is a thankless job. It's a dirty job. It is both not conditioned in here at all. We have no air conditioning. So when it's 95 out, it's 95 in here. We have some heat, but in the material recovery facility, we have the biggest garage doors possible. It gets cold in here too in the winter. So right now when it's 7 degrees out, it's not all that warm in here sometimes. So we wear our coats and hoodies and that sort of stuff and still are able to work in this environment. And by doing so, we're able to divert thousands and tens of thousands of pounds of recyclable commodities that could be going to the landfill, but instead, because of your actions and a little labor on our part, we're able to divert that from the landfill and send that to become more cardboard or more material to become reused and recycled, which is truly the way of being Spartan Green. This behind me is the bunker for clean cardboard after it's been processed by hand up on our sort line. The students or Rob himself are up there and taking cardboard and separating stuff out like styrofoam and used gloves and plastic and putting the clean stuff behind me. This stuff, it'll fill up this bunker, which is a couple yards, or I think it's almost 10 to 15 yards behind me of clean cardboard. This bunker will then be pushed out onto the conveyor belt line that goes to become a bale eventually. So this is the clean stuff where we want, you know, just cardboard. You know, there's boxes. We love it when it's broken down because a broken down cardboard box has no plastic in it. Boxes that, you know, have laptops or things like that. Usually there's cords or something in there that we have to be able to pull out, or plastic or stuff like that. This one luckily was all good, but we want just cardboard because this is what it's made into new cardboard. And it's hard to make cardboard when there's plastic in it. So we have to be below a 3% contamination rate. We try for 0%, but of course there are things that do get by. And styrofoam, packing peanuts, and plastics are typically the worst offenders in cardboard. Behind me, we have a bale that was just produced of cardboard. It went on that floor conveyor, went up the line to where the big Spartan S is, and got smushed together. All 1,200 pounds from that huge bunker that we had is now squashed into this tiny, easy to ship, efficient bale that we are now going to weigh and place on a truck to be sent to our vendor to now be recycled. So Reg behind me is going to go walk up or drive up to go grab the bale. And we use this, it's called a clamp truck. Looks a little bit different than what your average fork truck would be because it's got the clamps. And that's how we move the bales. It squeezes them and is able to maneuver them, tip them, go back and forth, and just like Reg has right here, he's able to take this and place it on our scale. And this bale is 1,323. So I then have a bale tag that tells it where it came from. It's 1,323. I'll take this and I'll actually affix it to the bale. And as we affix it to the bale, that ensures that our vendors know where it came from and what commodity it is and how much weight it is. And then when it's done, I give Reg a thumbs up to know that I am clear. He'll then take that bale and put it on a semi-truck to be able to be sent to a manufacturer of more cardboard. We'll do the same with other commodities. It might just be paper, it might be plastic. Plastic's typically a little bit lighter than what paper or cardboard is. We ship out tens of thousands of pounds a week. In normal times, we send out 2 trucks a week of just cardboard and even more of paper. Now we're down to about 1 truck a week because there are less people living on campus and that sort of stuff currently. But those volumes will come back up, especially with your help. Make sure you throw the right thing in the right bin.